Hi, it's Teresa. Thank you for joining me today for my Slimline cards video. This segment I'll be going over some tips and techniques. I mentioned in my Tape It Up a Notch series some of the uses of score tape. If you have something that is embossed or you need to make sure some item is secure, such as a ribbon, I tend to use it to make sure that the items stay put as you send them through the mail. So today you'll see a cutesy card. If you're a bowler, you'll appreciate this. You'll want to stay tuned for this one. I come from a family of bowlers, and you'll see how I do a play on the card to poke fun at one of my brothers. So you'll see an elegant card that I have made for my niece. She's coming up on her wedding anniversary, and I created the card using a play on Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's a movie that my mother used to love to watch. My kids still remember it to this day because every time they went to Grandma's, classic movies were on TV. So you'll also see a quick fall card. I needed to get a card out to my friend to cheer her up. So I love fall and the colors, so I'll be making several cards in the upcoming weeks. Also, last but not least, we can't forget a Slimline Christmas card. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bowling card. A couple of tips and techniques here to kind of walk through. As you can see here, I have basically my faux wood set of lanes for a bowler. So I didn't have any wood at the time. I couldn't think of another example, so I started here. And so one of the things that you would want to do here is you can set this up to where your score tape actually is on the embossed. This is an embossing folder looks like wood, but it's more of a tree wood. So I put the tape on first to kind of give you an idea of what your options are. And then I'll just go through and I'll add this piece of wood to kind of basically make my own wood lanes for the bowling card. So I started there, and then the other option is, again, you have more than one option here. The other option is you can take the actual item itself, whatever that paper is, and you can actually go through and add it to the back of that paper. So I wanted to show you that you have, different options, different techniques. It's more your preference. But I did want to let you know that if you do decide to do either one of these, one of the things that you can do if you're concerned about any of the tape that's left over there, if you've never used an embossing buddy, that is one way that you can get rid of that stickiness. If you don't like that stickiness, you just go through and right here, and it'll take away the stickiness if for some reason you didn't line it up just right and you have some stickiness there. But I wasn't crazy about this, so I moved on and tried other options. I wanted to let you know that it's okay to not be perfect every time. That's hard for me. But I looked at other options to try to make this card work. In this case, I used a sponge, and I used a brownish color. I believe it was either nutmeg or toffee. And I went over the embossing folder that I had after I'd run it through. Well, I saw that, didn't really like it, so I said not going to use that. So then I tried it on a different color, a little bit lighter. This actually has some red tones in it. Again, did not like that look. So what I finally went to, now you're going to get to see the final card, and you're going to love this if you're a bowler. So the final card, actually, what I ended up doing, the technique I used, is I took the embossing folder, I added ink to the embossing folder on both sides, so I could use either side here. And it actually gets in the grooves when you do that, because you then run it through your Big Shot or whatever, Cuttlebug, or your Gemini Junior, whatever embossing machine that you have. So as you can see, this actually looks more like wood. So I ended up using this technique, and it worked out great. And if you're a bowler, you'll know, and this is why this is so funny for my brother, you'll know that that is one of the worst things that you can leave when you're bowling. So going to make my brothers laugh at that one. So the next card that we talked about, so that was the first card. The second one that we talked about earlier is the elegant card. This one I wanted to show you, or just tell you, in this card, the ribbon here, a lot of times when you're dealing with ribbon, you don't want any of the actual glue or the actual tape to show. So the score line, or the score tape, is really good for that, and it is very, very secure. That ribbon is not going anywhere. So that was the card for my niece. One of the other cards that I talked about was my fall card. I love the fact that I can use, on these Slimline cards, I can use some of my scrapbook workshop stamp sets. This one in particular is for fall and autumn, and I believe there's a couple other seasons in it. I think they actually have all the seasons. But I love fall colors, and so basically what I've done here is I've popped up a few of these pumpkins, kind of made my own background here, added a few leaves, and then just created a little border for it, popped it up. The other thing is I did complete the inside here. This is to cheer up my friend, and letting her know that, all the seasons are out there. Unfortunately, she's not able to enjoy them right now, but she will be again soon. So that's the fall card. I have, in hindsight, I probably would have added some brown to that, but that's okay. I have lots of other cards that I can make. So then the other option I wanted you to see on the score tape, I threw this one in at the last minute, so it is not done. So what I did here is, and I've already started putting this together, but I wanted to show you that I took the score tape here. Embossing folders are kind of, you have to have just the right glue here. So I created these two little stripes. I wanted to add a little bit more something to this because of that open space. I took the embossing folder, ran it through, then I added, with my score tape, I added the stripes to the, using the score tape on the back. And then what I'll do is I put another base in here because I wanted to pop that up a little bit, but not too much because it is going through the mail. So I added a base onto this so that I could securely put that in, and then use some additional tape to add it to the actual card. The other thing I wanted to show you on the score tape here is, when you're using items like this is actually a wire. I'll put a bow here at some point, but when you're using wire like that, it is very difficult to secure that and feel comfortable that that's secure. So what I've done is, obviously I had a mistake there, I've created the card, then I put the wire there, and then I attach the back with score tape, and I'll do that with all three of these. I'm sorry, with the other two. And then what I'll do then, I'll remove the score tape. I'll put my art glitter glue around the outside edges, maybe even some more score tape because it's very secure. Then I'll add it to my base. But that kind of covers up your wire, and that score tape is fantastic. It will hold it there. It will not move. So that'll be a Christmas card coming up out there soon. Probably this one may end up going to the nursing home. So that is what I had to show you here today. We'll put all the rest of that together and finish those up, and I just wanted to thank you for joining me today again, and wanted to let you know that if you need to order any of these items, any of the colors, some of those colors were scarlet, sapphire, and evergreen. If you want to order any of the colors, any of the supplies, feel free to jump out there and go to the description box here. If you haven't already subscribed and you'd like to hear some of the upcoming videos, which are going to be scrap this and scrap that, and then there's going to be some emboss actual techniques, which I just explained one, and I'll have that type of a video coming out soon. So if you'd like to see those, join me. And obviously the last thing I really want to know is, I'd love to hear your comments. Do you have other options? Do you have other ideas? I mentioned on the fall card that I wish I'd have added some brown. Give me some ideas and thoughts. If you're a card maker, I'd love to hear some of your ideas and thoughts, or anyone, if you're just getting into it. So thank you again for joining me, and have a great day.